Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and today we're talking about Facebook. Elena Weiss, welcome to class.
I'm
Are you there?
Helen.
Hi, welcome back. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm enjoying my weekend. How has your weekend gone so far?
Weekend.
Hmm. I'm having a
Nothing.
little trouble hearing you. I'm not sure if it's your connection or. Oh,
Um,
yeah, it seems like you might be having a little bit of connectivity issues. I'm having some trouble understanding you. In the meantime, Anatoly, welcome to class.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, Anatoly. How's your weekend going?
Oh, it was a good weekend. I was riding on the bicycle. It was sunny days, 2 days in Moscow,
Excellent.
where I live.
Sounds nice.
Yes.
All right. Juan Diego, welcome to class. You're probably still loading up, but just give us a big hello whenever you're. Ah, there we go. Hi, Juan. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. How's your weekend going so far?
It's going very well, thank you. Um, now is this is my first class in Berlin. I didn't know how
Excellent.
to do it.
Well, I am excited that you're here, and if you have any questions, just let me know. In fact, I'll give you a quick tutorial. Hold
Okay.
on. So if you need to change your microphone at any time, you can click up at this top here. And if you want to mute yourself, there's a button for it, turn off your camera, or adjust your bandwidth. You can do all of those things at the top. And the chat boxes are on the left of your screen. This is the Google chat box, and this one is the Verbling chat box. That'll probably be all you need for today. But if you have any other questions, just give me a shout or put a question in the chat box. All right. And Elena, welcome to class.
Hello.
Hi, Elena. Is this your first time with me as well?
Yeah, it's first time with you.
Good to meet you. Have you been on Verbling long?
Yes, I can say so. It's about 6 months or 8 months.
Wonderful. You're an old pro.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you from, Elena?
From Russia.
Great. Excellent to meet you. And Juan Diego, where are you from?
I'm from Madrid in Spain.
Very cool. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, if you guys are curious. And if anyone wants to friend me on Facebook to keep updated with my classes, I'm going to put my Facebook name in the chat box for you guys.
Okay.
Okay. And Elena Weiss, did you get your connectivity issues worked out?
um, uh, no, hello.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I hear you better now, definitely. So tell me, how's your
Uh,
weekend going?
well, but I'm not sure. My connection is good. I don't think so. Well, let's try.
Give it the best shot we can
My
today.
yes. Well, my weekend is okay. It's a quiet, normal weekend. Nothing special.
Well, that sounds nice. Calm is better than having it be stressful, so.
Hmm, yes.
Okay. We're going to start with a couple questions, conversation questions, and a little bit of vocabulary. I'm going to put those notes in the chat box for you in case you want to have them your own copy. And I'm also going to screen share so you guys can follow along with me or on your own. So we're talking about Facebook today. The obvious first question is, do you use Facebook and what do you think of Facebook? So let's start with Juan Diego. Tell me, do you use Facebook?
Yes, I usually use Facebook, maybe twice, 3 times a day.
All right, so you're a moderate user of Facebook, and what do you think of Facebook?
Well, I'm really confused about Facebook because a long time ago when I started using Facebook, I thought it's a really good tool, but nowadays I'm really worried about all the things you can watch on Facebook, and there are a lot of people who really don't want to be nice, and some of them are looking for troubles for other people.
So you think that there are some people on Facebook that make it a negative space?
There, sometimes there are people in social networks who doesn't want to use it in the same way that you and me. I don't know how to say it in English, but I don't trust them because a long time ago I used Facebook for many hours a day, and nowadays I only use it from time to time, because I want to be sure what is happened with me and with the people who is near me.
Okay, so you think it's changed quite a bit in the last few years?
Yes, that's really what I think.
All right, thank you very much for
You're
your
welcome.
opinion. And Elena Vies, tell us, what do you think about Facebook? Or do you use Facebook?
Well, just call me Elena. Better than Elena Vice. Well, I don't nowadays. I used to use it at first. I don't know, 5, 6 years ago. But after that, well, it doesn't interest me so much. So I have a Facebook account. I can go there, I don't know, once a week or perhaps 2 times, twice a week, or because there are so much information. I know I miss something not using Facebook. I think I miss a lot of things, but well, I can find some of those things in other websites. I use internet a lot. And well, I'm worried about my privacy as well. I don't like everybody my news or that, so I'm not very fond of on Facebook.
All right. So it seems like you think it's changed a bit as well. You used to use it, but now not so much.
Yeah, but not because of Facebook itself, because I don't use it now, so I don't know very well has how it changed. But well, there's a lot of information there that I don't care about. Even my friends, I care about my friends, but I don't want to know if they are, I don't know, taking a shower, for example, or that kind of thing. So, I used to no. When I go into Facebook, when I mm, enter and on this page, I go. I try to look for some specific information, like a concert in a bar I go usually, or something like that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And Elena, will you tell us your Facebook habits if you have it and what you think of it?
Yes, I have a Facebook account, and I have a positive opinion about Facebook. Sure, sometimes I'm worried about the privacy, but I believe that I have no any secrets, like I don't know, like politics or something like that. I'm a very simple girl, so I can share my secrets with the others. Sometimes it could be very useful. For example, I study dances, and yeah, dance salsa, and sometimes I can check my schedule in the school, and yeah, it could be very useful. So sometimes I use Facebook just for chatting with some friends who are far from me, and it could be very useful. And yeah, I don't believe that it could be something negative. Yeah, sure, I could agree that there are a lot of people, but you always can choose the people. It's not necessary to accept all the invitations, it's not necessary to accept all the people. So you can make your circle, and it could be very convenient for you to chat with them, to share some experiences with them. I like it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
That's
you, Elena.
You're welcome.
Anatoly, what do you think of Facebook, and do you use Facebook?
Yes, I use Facebook. I like it. It allows me to stay in touch with friends, with classmates who are interested in studying English. And last time I discovered that we can make a subscription to the newspapers. For example, you can see on my screen New York Times or Guardian, and etc., etc. And it is easy to find articles there using that way, because they posted something which is difficult to find if we are searching inside definite newspaper. But I compared the technology of Facebook with technology of Google Plus, and my conclusion: Google Plus is more modern. Uses more modern technology, but for Facebook, the most important thing that many people use it, not so many people use now Google Plus account for chatting, for staying in touch, etc. That's my opinion.
All right, that's a good point. There are some other sources that do the same basic thing as Facebook, but they're not as popular for some reason. All right.
Gaila, we have. Sorry, can I speak?
Yeah, no, go ahead. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I would like to say that in Russia we have the same sources like Facebook, but it calls Kontakte, and it's the same system like Facebook. But there you can also play the music and you can play some videos. So
wow, cool. So it's like YouTube combined with Facebook.
Yeah, and it's very popular. It's very popular in Russia, like Facebook, but it's only for Russians. Like Facebook Facebook is international resource, but Kontakte is like for Russians. But it's not prohibited to register there for foreigners, but it's popular in Russia, and that's why. But it's very cool, and I like it also.
All right. Sounds like it would be a good alternative to Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Maria, welcome to class. Maria, are you there? So, Maria, if you are trying to say something and we can't hear you, you might have to come up to this top bar here and click on your settings and change your microphone or speakers. You might be having some audio difficulty. If you're having any other trouble, let me know in the chat box on the right. You can choose the Verbling chat box or the Google chat box. All right. Nada, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, Nada. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, do you use Facebook and what do you think of Facebook?
Yeah, actually, in comparison of my friends, I'm not very addicted on Facebook, but I check it daily. I think it has good effect in my life. Actually, it helped me to know new culture. Are you listening? And it helped me also to keep in touch with old friends. And that's all.
Yeah, it can be a very useful tool sometimes.
Yeah, and also it helped me to contact my teacher.
Yeah, to contact people, it's very useful.
Yeah.
Okay. So Maria, I see you're having trouble with your microphone. You can, if you want, respond to these questions in the chat box. So write us a response talking about how frequently you use Facebook and what you think of it on the whole, all right? And I'll read it for you and we'll talk a little bit about it. And last but not least, Pablo. Do you use Facebook and what do you think of Facebook, Pablo?
Hi, teacher. Yes, I am using Facebook. I use this page, this web for make some business. I have a little clothes store, and I promote and show my new articles, my new clothes in this website.
Advertisement.
Advertisement.
Yeah, you use it for advertisement. That's great.
Advertisement. And I use Facebook for make new contacts and new friends. For find my old friends too.
Okay. So, before we jump into our article, there are a couple vocabulary words that we should go over. These are in our article and they might be a little difficult to understand. So we're going to go over the vocabulary first and then read our article. The first phrase we have is psychological cost. Does anybody have an idea what that means, or could anyone provide us a definition for psychological cost? Is it negative? Is it positive?
I believe that it's positive.
Okay, and what do you think it means, or maybe could you use it in a sentence?
Maybe it could be useful, like for psychologists. No, not for psychologists, but in psychology aspect. So it helps people to communicate with each other, to be more stronger in psychologist. Yeah.
Okay, so you're definitely on the right track with psychology, but I think it has more of a negative meaning, because when we say something has a psychological cost, it means that the payment you're using is your mind. Like, if something is very stressful to you, you might say it comes at a high psychological cost, meaning that you're sacrificing good brain function for this stress. All right. How about our next phrase, moment-to-moment happiness? So we could break this into the two separate items, moment-to-moment and happiness. But in the article we have this full phrase, moment-to-moment happiness. Anybody have an idea what this might mean?
It's a happiness which could be with us just moment to moment. Not all the time, but sometimes it could be in our life.
Exactly. Some kind of short happiness that isn't long-lasting.
Yeah. No, it's not long-lasting. It's just for sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. So what about the study authors? The study authors. What is a study?
It's educational in educational aspect, so we can study something.
Like could be a survey or an experiment of some kind.
Yeah, or like reading some articles like Anatoly, sure that. Yeah.
So the study authors would mean scientists who completed some kind of survey or experiment.
Yeah.
All right, just a couple more. Glum. Is anyone familiar with the word glum?
No.
No? All right, these are tough words, I know. Glum is someone who is unhappy, kind of a little bit sad. Yeah, exactly. A little bit sad, not too excited, maybe a little depressed. Proxy? How about proxy?
I just hear about proxy server.
Okay, yeah. That's a good clue into what this word would mean. A proxy is something that represents something else. So somebody who speaks for you, maybe your lawyer, or you might have this if somebody is too sick and in the hospital and they can't speak for themselves, they get a proxy. So someone to speak for them or represent them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a person, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Proxy is a person.
Okay.
Analog?
Something with the same meaning or yeah.
Okay,
Something
that would be
similar.
analogous.
Something similar. Something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've got two main meanings. Something analogous would be similar or maybe parallel to something else. And we also have the word analog as in analog clock, which is something that's mechanical and not digital. So we have
Okay.
both meanings of that word. All right. So you guys will get another example to see those words in the text we're about to read. It is called Facebook Makes Us Sadder and Less Satisfied, Study Finds. So there was a study done about Facebook and what it means for us.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the link to the article in the chat boxes for you if you guys want your own copy of it, but you're also welcome to share with me. And I'm going to read the first paragraph and then ask you guys to read all the other paragraphs. Facebook's mission to make the world more open and connected is a familiar refrain among company leaders. But the latest research shows connecting 1.1 billion users around the world may come at a psychological cost. Paragraph number 2, Anatoly, will you read it for us?
Okay. In University of Michigan study on college-aged adults finds that the more they used Facebook, the worse they felt. The study, published in the journal PLOS ONE, found Facebook use led to declines in moment-to-moment happiness and overall life satisfaction.
Thank you very much. Next paragraph, Elena number 1.
Who is that? Elena Viz?
For me, I see Elena with long hair on the left, and I'm going from right to left.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Elena long hair. Let's call you Elena long hair. You can go first.
Okay. There is a huge amount, yeah? There is a huge amount of interest because Facebook is so widespread. Says research co-authors John Jonitz University of Michigan, cognitive neuroscientists, with something like 500 million people who use Facebook every day. Understanding the consequence of that use on our well-being is of critical importance.
Thank you very much. Elena Shorthair, will you continue?
Okay, well, today I think you can call me or whatever.
I can call you what?
Oh, Elena Vice or Elena
Vice. Okay, all right.
Okay, or Elena Shorthair, this way. Researchers tested the variables of happiness and satisfaction in real time on 82 participants. The researchers text messaged them 5 times a day for 2 weeks to examine how Facebook use influenced how they felt. Participants responded to questions about loneliness, anxiety, and general emotional well-being.
Thank you very much. And the next 2 short paragraphs, Juan Diego, could you read those for us?
Of course. The study authors did not get the reason Facebook made their test subject feel gum, but John Dees suspects it may have to do with social comparison.
Read one more short one.
Okay. When you are a site like Facebook, you get lots of posts about what people are doing. That sets up social comparison. You maybe feel your life is not as full and rich as those people you see on Facebook. He said.
Thank you very much. Next paragraph. Maria, your microphone is still not working, right? Okay, sorry about that, Maria. Nada, will you go ahead and read the next paragraph for us?
Okay. Interestingly, Jones notes, the study found the effects of Facebook are most pronounced for those who socialize the most in real life. He says the folks who did the most direct face-to-face socializing and used social media were the ones who reported the most Facebook-related mood decline.
Thank you very much. And the next paragraph, Pablo.
It suggests that when you are engaging in social interactions a lot, you are more aware of what others are doing, and consequently, you might be more sensitized about what's happening on Facebook and comparing that to your own life, Johnny says.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions so far on what we've just read? Vocabulary questions or phrasing questions? Okay.
How do you say interesting? Is it interestingly?
Wait, you're talking about the adjective, not the adverb, right?
Yes, in the last paragraph. Interesting.
Interestingly?
Yes.
I don't see it. In the last paragraph?
How
I
do
see,
you
in the second to
pronounce?
last paragraph. Interestingly.
Interestingly.
I say it as a 4-syllable word. Interestingly. Even though it is written with an extra syllable, it looks like it would be pronounced interestingly, but most American English speakers would just pronounce it with 4. Interestingly.
Okay, interestingly.
Good question.
Okay.
Any other questions so far? If you guys do think of questions as we're reading, you're welcome to put them in the chat box so you don't forget, because I know sometimes it's hard to keep them in your brain long enough for us to stop.
Can you tell me the meaning of BAMED?
Of which word?
BAMED. If you are feeling BAMED.
If you're feeling down?
No, BAMED.
Do you know which paragraph this was in?
The last paragraph. First line, and in the last paragraph.
I'm not sure I see it. In the last paragraph that starts, it suggests that when you are engaging in social interactions.
Actually, wait. If you are feeling BAMED, researchers the depth and for.
It's 2 paragraphs later.
Starting with interestingly?
Above.
No, I mean it's the last paragraph in full text. Actually, I'm sorry. We didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What does the paragraph start with?
We haven't read it yet. It is the next reading. We haven't reached this paragraph.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then we'll wait for that one, and then as we read it, will you ask again?
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's
No,
continue reading and then we'll come back. If you guys think of questions while we're reading, you can also put them in the chat box so you don't forget. The next part, the researchers also tested and discounted other reasons for our unhappiness. The University of Michigan notes. This note, Anatoly, will you read this note in gray for us?
Okay. Researchers also found no evidence for two alternative possible explanations for the finding that Facebook undermines happiness. People were not more likely to use Facebook when they felt bad. In addition, although people were more likely to use Facebook when they were loneliness and Facebook use both independently predicted how happy participants sequentially felt. Thus, it was not the case that Facebook use served as a proxy for feeling bad or lonely, says lead author Ethan Cross.
Thank you very much. Was it in this paragraph that you had the question?
no.
No? Okay. Then next paragraph, Elena, long hair? Elena, first in the row.
Okay. Yeah. We reached out to Facebook for a response, but got an automatic reply. These findings, however, add data points in our quest to understand Facebook and other social media's effect in our emotional well-being. Whether it's the behemoth social networks, role after relationships, and or our feelings of regret after pressing share.
Thank you very much. And Elena Visi, will you read the last one?
If you are feeling bummed, researchers did find the solution. The prescription for Facebook despair is less Facebook. Researchers found that face-to-face or phone interaction, those ways of communication, had the opposite effect. Direct interactions with other human beings led people to feel better.
Thank you very much. All right. So, was it this phrase right here?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay. So, if you're feeling bummed, does anyone know the word bummed?
It's upset. Is it upset?
Yeah, it's an informal way to say you're
Yeah.
feeling a little upset. You're not feeling very
Angry.
happy. Yeah, angry maybe. It's pretty general. It's a negative feeling, and it's an informal way to express that feeling.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions from this article so far?
Yeah,
I
I
guess-
wrote. Okay, let's continue.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have missed the article. I can't see in the screen. Okay, here it's now. Behemoth or behemoth.
Yeah.
It was the same question. Yeah.
Does anybody know this word already?
No.
It's a synonym to huge. Behemoth is a word for something that is monstrously large, extremely large, and yeah, usually some kind of animal. A behemoth would be some kind of really large animal or living creature.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. There's a lot of advanced vocabulary in this article, but I think for the most part, it's easy to understand even if there are some words that are a little confusing. So let's summarize it. Starting with Pablo, will you give us a detail or two that you understood from this article? You don't have to summarize the whole thing. Just give us a couple points of what you understood. Pablo, are you there? All right. Nada, will you start us off then and summarize the article a little bit for us? Give us a couple points that you understood from it. Nada, are you there? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then how about Juan Diego? Will you start us off and give us a couple points of information that you understood in this article?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of information in this article, but maybe one thing it's caught me my attention is, for example, sometimes you are feeling that you are not as happy as the other people because there are a lot of information about nice situation in their life, but really sometimes you don't feel fine because you would like to be in the same status than they are, for example. And another thing is if you are in a good mood or if you are in a bad mood, it depends. What are you going to put in your Facebook or in your Facebook friends?
Yeah, definitely. There's a big relation there.
Yeah.
All right. Elena Vies, can you add on to his beginning of our summary here?
Okay. I think I have read about this article before. I remember it, and well, what I remember, and now we have read is about social comparison. Is the most important point for me, and perhaps the more interesting point, because well, it's true. You compare yourself to people, and people usually don't show the bad moments. So and Facebook, they show them less than in real life. So we can think everybody's happy, everybody's good, and well, we are not, and that can be dying. Most of all, if we are having a bad time, everybody's great, and I'm not. Why? I'm a bad person, perhaps. I don't deserve it. So. Yeah, it can have a psychological cost, as the article says.
Definitely. Yeah, that was a big part of the article. All right. Elena, can you add on any other details you remember from our paragraph?
Any other details? But yeah, I understand this article that Facebook has some positive meaning and helps people to socialize between each other, and there are some people, for whom it's a little difficult to socialize face-to-face, and in this way, Facebook helps them to contact with each other. And yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
Thank you very much. And then Anatoly, last but not least, can you give us any other details that you remember from this article
Hmm.
to put in our summary?
The author of this article believes that Facebook users are unhappy, all unhappy and jealous people. I'm joking. And he or she advised to change way for communication, for face-to-face communication or phone interaction. We can see in the last paragraph. I didn't find any positive features of using Facebook from this article.
Yeah, they don't talk much about the positives of Facebook here for sure. You're right. All right. So we've summarized it, and now I'd like to know a little bit about what you guys think. So let me start. Pablo, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Pablo, would you like to tell us your opinion? Do you think this article is being realistic or not so much?
No, it's very realistic. I only use the Facebook for advertisement. I don't share personal information in this website. I think that security and bullying and other things are possible in Facebook and in the social websites, and I only try to find the best profit for me. Uh, yeah, I prefer the cell phone to speak with my family and with my friends.
Okay. So let's see. Nada, do you agree with Pablo? Do you think the article is pretty realistic?
I think the text is not too much realistic because Facebook has good effects on us psychologically.
Okay. So you disagree with it?
Yeah.
Okay. We got one agree, one disagree. Juan Pablo. Or sorry, not Juan Pablo. Juan Diego. Juan Diego, do you think that it's true that using Facebook makes people feel a little glum, a little sad, or do you think that on the whole Facebook is a positive source?
Yes, I think it depends of the people. In my own case, I used to use Facebook for a long time, for several times along the day, but it's becoming to be worried, and then I think I was engaged to Facebook, and then I need to cut. But I think it's like to smoke or to drink. It's different. Some people are strong and some people aren't strong. But sometimes I'm worried about people that I know and they are close, really, in my family, and they are a lot of hours playing at Facebook at Facebook and watching Facebook. I can't understand. I think the article is really realistic.
Okay. Elena VC, will you tell us if you think that Facebook makes people sad, or is it overall positive?
Well, it depends on the people. I said before that I don't like Facebook very much, and I think the article can be right in some way, but that's not the only reality. For some people, I think it's a great thing. I I think of a friend, a very close friend of mine, that has found a real community around poetry. That is what he's more interested in. And he has found that people that very wonderful cycle in Facebook, and well, he's knowing now a lot of those people, and well, it is great. So it depends. I don't like it, Facebook, for me and now, but perhaps I could like it. I enjoy it in the future, and perhaps that would make me unhappy. I don't know, but well, I don't think that's sure that it's possible, but it depends.
All right. And Elena, tell us what you think about the article. Is it real? Is it exaggerated?
From my perspective, this article is not real, and I really believe that nothing could make us unhappy, but just only we could decide being happy or being unhappy. And if I use Facebook, and I absolutely agree with Anatoly and Elena that it depends on people, and it depends on objectives. What are looking and trying to find in Facebook. If you use just if you check it once a day, that's okay. You are not a dependent person from or Facebook. That's okay. You can use it, and I never believe that it could make me unhappy. It could make me unhappy. Yeah, it's just if some people couldn't find the way to be happy, they are trying to find some happiness in social networks. But I absolutely agree that maybe it's it's not kind of real life. So sometimes it helps, but sometimes it doesn't work. It depends on situation. But in common, I believe that it helps people to communicate. Sure, it's better to communicate in reality and going out, but for some people it's difficult to do that, and maybe they can start with communication in Facebook. I have a little story about social networks. I'm married, and I found my husband in networks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's another network. It's Russian networks. Maybe Russians can know that. It's Odnoklassniki. Now it's not so popular, but maybe 5 years ago it was very, very popular resource, and I use that just for being there, for having my profile. And one day before my birthday, one guy asked me about Spanish. At that time I'm studying Spanish, and he is a Peruvian guy, and he helped me. He asked me if I want that he helped me with Spanish, and we started to communicate from that moment, and for a month we are speaking just there, and after a month we met and we started to communicate in reality. But I'm a very active person and I'm very open-minded, so I was not searching someone in social networks, but it was like that. So I can't say that it's negative things. It could be negative, it could be positive. It depends on people. It depends. So we can live in reality. We can't forget about our real life, but we can use that. We can use that, and sometimes it helps us.
Yeah, wow, that's a pretty cool story. It certainly was positive for you.
Yeah. And now I'm using just 2 social networks. I forget about that networks at Naklassniki, and now I use that just only Facebook and VKontakte is that another one. And sometimes I share some photos with my friends. That could be cool. Yeah, that's my opinion.
All right. Very thorough. Thanks, Elena. And Anatoly, what do you think about this article? Is it completely realistic and true, or do you think it's untrue and exaggerated? What's your opinion?
I think it is exaggerated. I agree only with only one point, that it is dangerous dependence of using internet and networks, and in that direction I could agree with the author.
All right. So it looks like the class is pretty evenly divided, and I think that's mimics the real world, because it's tough to decide if Facebook is overall evil or overall great. Any questions or comments before we finish class up today?
What's your opinion, Michaela?
Oh, I think I'm somewhere in the middle like most of you. I think Facebook is really useful. I love it because I put pictures up. I use it to store all my pictures and share my pictures with all my friends and family, which is really useful. And it helps me keep in contact with people that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. Friends from high school and people that I travel a lot, so I make friends in very far away places, and then it's hard to keep in contact with them, and Facebook allows me to do that. So I'm very grateful for Facebook, but at the same time, I feel like there is an evil side to it. I waste a lot of my time messing with Facebook, and sometimes it doesn't really make me very happy. So there's a good and bad side to it. I feel like I'm addicted because I need it for certain things, but I don't know if I actually think it's overall positive or not, even though I definitely need it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just about out of time for today, but I hope to see you all again soon, and thank you for coming and participating.
Thank you for the class, Michaela. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you for teaching us. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you. Goodbye.